Okay, so now to inequalities. So in linear equations, in a linear equation, it's quite easy to figure out our inequalities. So you can have something is greater than, so let's say A is greater than or equal to B, greater than B, or less than B. So 3 ways, or 4 ways, less than or equal to. So remember, people do sometimes tend to get confused by which side the sign should face. So the open end should face the bigger one. So here, open end facing A, which is bigger. When you have linear inequalities, pretty straightforward. It's almost equivalent to just solving an equation, so solving for something with an equal sign, except if you multiply or divide by a negative number, so if you multiply or divide by negative, you have to flip the inequality sign. So for example, let's say A is greater than B, negative A is less than negative B. So if you want to know why that happens, let's say A equals 2. Actually, let's say A equals 5 and B equals 1. It makes sense that negative 5 is less than negative 1. So we know that 5 is greater than 1, but negative 5 is less than negative 1. So just using that logic. If you have complicated functions, you have some interesting behavior. So let's say you have a quadratic. To know where the x value lies and what it's between, it's important that you are aware of the graph. So it's hard to just do it in your head without visualizing it. So when you deal with linear inequalities or linear inequations, you can just solve it straightforwardly. So just use algebra, solve it like you would solve an equation. Just remember to flip the sign when multiplying or dividing by negative. But when you're doing nonlinear equations, you can't really do it straightforwardly. And the best thing to do is just solve it graphically. So draw a graph, and using that graph, sort of visualize it and solve it that way. So now let's move on.